Hi dear students, today we will be discussing question answers of chapter number 6, the Luncheon. Question number first is, how did the woman know the narrator? Why did she want to meet him? The woman knew the narrator as a writer. She had read his books and was one of his readers. She was passing through Paris where the narrator lived. So, she expressed her wish to meet him at Fayotte's restaurant. Question number second. What impression did the narrator gather of the woman when he met her? The narrator felt disappointed when he met her. He found the woman to be in her 40s and in appearance she was imposing rather than impressive. She was very talkative and seemed inclined to talk about the narrator. Question number third. Why was the narrator panic-stricken while they were waiting for the asparagus to be cooked? The narrator was panic-stricken while they were waiting for the asparagus to be cooked because the woman had ordered a number of expensive dishes like asparagus, salmon, caviar, and he wasn't sure whether he had enough money to pay the bill. Next, question number 4. Why did the narrator order coffee for himself also? The narrator ordered coffee for himself also because he knew that after paying the bill he would not be left with any money to afford even a single cup of coffee for the whole month. Next question is question number 5. What is the waiter's contribution in allowing the woman to have a gorgeous meal? The waiter served his guests with all hospitality. After he took orders for the salmon, he asked the lady to have something more while it was being cooked. He tried to comfort his guests by all means. He made available all the dishes ordered well in time so that his guests could enjoy gorgeous meal. Next we have question from HOTS. It's part A. The narrator's meeting with the woman begins with his being flattered and hospitable and ends with being mortified and disgusted. Discuss his different states of mind. So here I have given my own opinion. You can write your own answer in your own words. You see the answer to this question. The narrator's meeting with the woman begins with his being flattered and hospitable and ends with being mortified and disgusted. D, you add to it. That's true in every sense of the word, as we see in the beginning of the story when the narrator is not so well off and earns his bread and butter through his writings. He lived in a tiny apartment. The lady wants to meet him at one of the most expensive restaurants in Paris. As a good host, he offers the best of food available. He was not aware of the fact that the lady would eat much up to her heart's desire, and she orders all the expensive dishes on the platter. The narrator ends up paying huge bill with repentance. He had to spend the rest of the whole month penniless. Next we have additional questions. Question number 1. Who is the narrator in the story? The Luncheon. The narrator was an upcoming author who was earning barely enough money to keep his body and soul together. He was flattered when a lady fan of his wanted to have lunch with him. He was too young to have learned to say no to a woman. Question number 2. What was the narrator's reaction on meeting the woman second time? The narrator met the woman in a theater after a span of 20 long years. He was extremely happy on meeting her for the second time, as he felt if he had his revenge finally. It gave him a sense of satisfaction on seeing that she had grown excessively fat. Question 3. In the story, The Luncheon, who eats just one thing and why? In the story, The Luncheon, the narrator eats just one thing, that is mutton chop, the cheapest dish available, as the lady guest keeps ordering expensive items one after the other for herself. He finds himself in a very awkward situation and keeps wondering what the bill would be, as he had only 80 francs in his pocket. Question number 4. The narrator first met the woman in a restaurant. What was his financial condition? When the narrator first met the woman in a restaurant, he was an upcoming writer, earning barely enough to keep his body and soul together. He had a tiny apartment in the Latin Quarter. So these are textual and additional questions of chapter number 6. Thank you, students.